If you have finished your brainstorming, take the worksheet on do's and don'ts of interviews and let's go through it. You will notice, first of all, that there are two columns. In the do section, you will find that there is a parallel comment on what you should avoid and what you should do. So it says, be aware of interview timing. In other words, don't be late. Don't be late. Okay, go on time. It talks that one of the do's is to be motivated, and the don't is don't pretend or show real disinterest. Okay, let's look at this. Mistakes will come up, so handle them as they come. And if they come, don't panic, don't be nervous, don't choke. Just understand that these sorts of things happen and move on. Be mentally tough. If there are difficult questions, don't harbor mental blocks. Press on. It helps to press on if you are mentally prepared. Okay, let's look at the second page. And let's look at this. Handle tough questions, but don't pretend, don't feign knowledge. For instance, if they ask you about the performing arts CCA in your school, and you know very little about it because you're not in the performing arts, it is okay to say, well, I don't really know very much about it. I do know that we have some dance and, a choir, but I don't know much beyond that because I'm not in performing arts. That's fair enough. However, that does not mean that if they ask you a personal question about your interests or your challenges, the greatest challenge, you look at them and say, I don't know. Because these are if you find these questions tough, they want to see that you are able to proceed anyway. It says establish a rapport, a connection. Smile at the interviewer. Show that you're willing to participate in the interview. Don't be rude or disrespectful and pretend that you are at the same level as the interviewer. You're a student. They are important people in the school, so give them the due respect. Have proper body contact, body language, sit up straight, have good eye contact with the interviewer. Don't examine the floor, the table, your shoes, and look as if you're not interested in them. This is especially important if you are in a group interview, because if they ask questions and you're constantly looking at the floor, they're not going to call on you. And then you wouldn't have had a chance to show them how good you are. Alright, it also says be persuasive without boasting. Show them why you are good. Tell them what it is about you that the school is going to be worth having you for. Do not self-sabotage yourself and say, well, I did this wrong and I did that wrong, and talk about all the things that are bad. Okay? And if you're in a group interview, do make it a point to speak up, but don't monopolize the interview. If there are 4 of you, you should take up about 25% of the time, 30% at the most. Okay, unless everybody's unwilling to talk. And then at the end of it, don't forget to thank the panel. Don't rush out and look like you can't wait for the whole thing to be over, because that does not really show respect, and that does not show that you're confident of yourself. So you will want to take time to go through all the do's and don'ts in this handout. If there are any questions, write them down and be prepared to ask the teacher who's going to conduct the interview the DSA workshop with you, so that you can clarify any questions, any doubts or questions you have. So we are almost at the end of this video. Remember that in addition to the individual interview and the group interview, if you're applying for NUS High, there's also a DSA camp instead. Now the DSA camp is very important because Well, it has a different format, and generally what happens is you attend a day camp and they give you a number of activities. They see how well you work together. Okay, and the purpose is to observe and learn about you. They want to observe your abilities, your talents, your skills. But they're also observing your attitude, how well you work with each other, how well you handle challenges. So, and what kind of an individual you are. But at the end of the day, whether you are doing the DSA camp or the group interview or the individual interview, remember that you are constantly being observed and constantly being assessed even before you step into the interview room, even before you take up a challenge. So be prepared and always be on your best behavior. So this takes us to the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, if you have any problems or any questions, write them down so that when you attend the workshop, you can ask the teacher who will be running the workshop. Thank you and goodbye.